begging for flights, accommodation, and even tickets to one of the world's biggest events. When you have a bank account with 6 or more digits in it, let's talk about it. I am a huge fan of Kiki Chanel, and she posted recently this video. Now in this video, she talks about something that has occurred last year in the online space and only seems to be getting more and more prevalent, and that is the idea of begging for Coachella tickets.
That led to the Bi Sister scandal with Tati making that expose video.
Now, Coachella, if you don't know, it is a music festival that takes place in California 2 weekends out of the year, and it is what is known as an influencer hotspot.
Hey guys, it's officially day 1. Y'all know what time it is. Get ready with me for Coachella.
Thank you, my beautiful sister, for braiding my hair. I love you.
These are my unfiltered opinions on day 1 Coachella outfits. Kylie, ready?
Get ready with me for Coachella day 2 by bringing out the tiniest bikini in the world.
I handmade my...
Now, it's perfectly fine to be excited about going to this event. You have your own money, you have free will, maybe you worked really hard for this, and this is something that you're going to go and you're going to have a really great time with your friends, and it's going to be awesome. However, it is videos like this that are popping up that are giving some people some pause.
I just wanted to take this moment to put up my application to any sweet, amazing brand who wants to collaborate. I would do anything. I would give my left lung away. Okay, so that's number 1. Every single move that I make will be for that brand, for whatever brand. The weekend, okay, I promise. We're talking stories daily, we're talking posts, we're talking literally like every single post you can imagine. Vlog, how I'm using the product throughout the weekend, like literally anything that you can imagine. I'm manifesting, crossing my fingers to the Lord's amen.
When I watched this video, the first thing that came to mind was, really? Lung? You know, that thing that helps you breathe? You're willing to give up that for a brand to take you? And then the second thing that I thought of was how horribly sad that was. I understand, and content and followers and views equals money. We have reached a place in society where the content that we consume and the content that we make is only about money. Like, you hear these influencers beg and they're saying, I'll do whatever, I'll make 20 videos a day or whatever it happens to be about this item that you don't even use.
L'Oreal Paris Extensionist Mascara works for all lash.
They are being a false witness. They are profiteering off of an item and trying to sell it to their followers because that's just how these things are done.
Exposed themselves as liars because they thought that TikTok was getting banned in the United States. But here we are, and they still lie.
And it speaks to the way in which we are being constantly sold to and constantly sold and commodified in our daily lives. And not only are we being sold goods and services, we are now being sold in our entertainment. And now with short form marketing content, you are not only giving up your time, selling your time, you are constantly being sold to. When you watch one of those restock videos online, you go to the comment section, or at the end, everything is linked in my Amazon bio. And people who are younger may not understand, but it used to be very much that we were communal. And I think that living in that online space, it robs us of that community that we have. And everything is a market. Everything is a store. Like, there's no point in time where you can just go online without seeing an ad or a YouTuber who's saying, hey, I've gone on this, amazing trip. Look at this brand that took me, and look at all of their stuff that I totally use all the time. So it's not only that you're going to a store like on a Black Friday sale, and the price is the same. It is, you're seeing this person, you're feeling as if you have a connection with them, and they're lying straight to your face. But since it's through a phone screen or a computer screen, suddenly that makes it okay. And people will say, just do whatever you want. If they made the money, let them do whatever they want. And for the most part, I'm like, yeah, whatever. But when you're doing that at the sake of your audience, that is where people are getting this big issue from. And I'm not sure if you caught it or not, but in that video that influencer said, at the end she says something about lords. You can assume lowercase l, and it's certainly plural in that case. And that is something that is begging to be turned into an A24 movie. This idea that if you want to be successful, you want to be an influencer, you have to sacrifice part of your morals in order to attain that. You cannot be, someone who is true and faithful and good and be successful. That is what that is telling us as an audience. Where is the point in time where we say, hey, maybe what I'm doing right here is wrong? God calls us to be good stewards of the word, not only hearers, but doers also. And when we are promoting certain things or when we are doing certain things and people are watching their eyes on us, whether that is the kids in your class or the people in your neighborhood, or whether it's your audience online. And I think that we need to be more cautious of that. Because even if you are not a Christian, you are still someone who is being looked up to, who is being admired. Young minds are being influenced by this constant deluge of information. Get ready with me, and let's go to Coachella, and let's do this. And if you don't have money, then maybe you need to get some, and maybe you need to beg for it. And we have forgotten that nothing in this life is free except for one thing: salvation. When you take that brand deal, but you don't use that product, you are sacrificing your integrity. When you go on that trip or that sponsorship and you are taking money and services from these people, you are promising something and doing something that is inherently false, right? They're going to own you. They're going to own that video, own that likeness. They're going to have you saying on camera that you like and support their product, even though you may have no idea what that product does in the long term.
Guys, it's Billy. I just want to introduce myself. I am here to chat whenever you want. Message me for any advice. I am ready to talk, and I hope to talk to you soon.
Welcome to the next phase of media, which also hints at the next phase of social life and identity. This is Billy, the AI alter ego of Kendall Jenner, who is your local ride or die managed by Meta. Kendall Jenner herself spent a few hours in this.
And that is specifically why I love Mia Maples. She will not accept a sponsorship for a video unless she actually uses that product or has used it for a long period of time. That to me is integrity. Everything has a price. And just because you don't see what the cost of that is, doesn't mean that it's not coming for you. Instead of us meeting demons at the crossroads, we are meeting them on TikTok. We are saying, yes, I am willing to do anything. I will get on my knees. I will beg you. I will do whatever it takes. I'll give you my lung. I'll post 30,000 times a day. I will do whatever it takes for you if you give me this thing. And that idea of reciprocity is something that is so dangerous. You may not believe in spiritual warfare, but it's there. If you sacrifice a little bit of yourself here and there, that's going to slowly eat away from you. A common argument against Christianity is that God requires too much of us. He wants you to go to church on Sunday. He wants you to be honest. He wants you to give to the poor. He wants you to don't lie and don't drink and don't smoke or whatever it happens to be. He doesn't want you to do any of these things. You don't have any freedom. But the inverse of that is the truth. We have the most freedom in Christ because we are not weighed down by these earthly things, these earthly ideas. We are held strongly and firmly by the ideas of integrity, dignity, truthfulness. And those things are not a cage, they are a net. So that when something happens or we are faced with a circumstance or a question, we don't have to worry and say, oh, what's this going to happen? What's this going to do to me? We have the safety nets in order to say, no, that's wrong. And whether that's going to hurt me down the line or it's going to hurt my bottom dollar, it doesn't matter because I have done what is true and right and good. For those of you who are going to Coachella to have a good time, I genuinely hope that you do. However, if you are waiting or sacrificing or giving of yourself a little bit too much, maybe step back and decide, do I really want to do this?